back to Stylish Naija YouTube channel. I want to say thank you to all of my subscribers. Thank you so much for subscribing to Stylish Naija YouTube channel. If you are new to Stylish Naija YouTube channel, you are highly and very, very welcome. And if you have not subscribed, please subscribe to our YouTube channel and then hit on the bell to get an update whenever I upload a new video. Okay, so in today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to cut a trendy tulip skirt with a back tail. So I've done some series of skirts on this channel. I've done some with back tails, and then the last ones that I did, I actually did not include the back tail. So in today's video, I'm going to show you how to add a tail to your back skirt. So we're going to draft the front of the skirt, which is a tulip. So tulip is like, for those of you that don't know, it's like a crossing skirt, and then I'll show you how to do the back also. So like I said, if you are new to the channel, you are highly and very welcome. And for the old subscribers also, thank you so much. If you want to register for our online classes, you can see my number scrolling through the screen. Just send me a message on WhatsApp, and then I'll give you the details of the classes that we have available. Okay, so now let's just get started. So in drafting or cutting a tulip skirt, I would advise for you to do it on a draft. That's, you do it on a pattern paper before you transfer to your fabric, because if not, you are going to waste your fabric, and that is not a good thing. So you draft it on a pattern paper and then transfer. Okay, so in drafting the skirt, there are some lines, some couple of lines. So this is like a fish skirt or an A-line skirt. So we're going to be using the fish skirt pattern. So that is what will bring it out more. So I've done this on my channel before, but I'm going to repeat it for the sake of those people that are new that have not seen that video. So I have some 3 lines here on my pattern paper, some four lines rather. So because it is a fish skirt, so the first line I have here, this is like my startup line, and then this next line is my hip line. So from waist to hip is usually 9 inches. So this is like standard. Once you insert your hip measurement here, it will work fine. And then my knee is 17. But for this, because it is a fish skirt, I'm going to come down a little bit below my knee line. So I'm going to add 2 inches to it. So now my knee is 19 inches. I'm taking 19 inches for my knee. So this line, the curve is going to start from almost under of my knee, not really on top of the knee. So if you have watched the other video, you will understand. But it is a simple process. So just measure it. Use 19 inches. It is okay and perfect. So I'm going to fold the pattern paper into 2, and then we'll start drafting. It is a simple process, like I said. Even as a beginner, you'll be able to cut this skirt. So we're cutting a fish skirt. So the first thing you're going to insert here, like I said, this is hip, and then this is our knee. So you start up from this point, and then you add your waist measurement. So for the waist measurement that I'm going to be using for this class, I'm going to use. Okay, so in today's class, so these are the measurements that I'm going to be using. The first thing we're going to measure now, we're going to measure the length of our skirt. So the length of the skirt, I'm going to be making use of 40 inches. So I'm going to just pull like this so you can see it. I'll use 40 inches, that's the length of our skirt. So the back one is going to be longer because of the tail. So the next measurement we're going to use now is our waist measurement. So the waist measurement, we're going to insert it up. So you divide your waist into 4. So for this, I'm using 26 inches for my waist. So when you divide 26 into 4, I have 6.5. So I'm just going to add my 6.5 here like this. And then I'm going to add my 1 inch that I'll take out for my dart. And then I'll add half inch for my allowance. So basically, I'm adding 1.5 inches allowance to it. I'll use 1 inch for the dart, and then I'll use half inch for stitching. So I'm just going to come like this. I'll just leave it there. Then the next measurement I'm going to add is the hip measurement. So for my hip, I'm using 34 inches. So when you divide 34 into 4, all of the measurements are divided into 4. I have 8.5, so I'm going to mark 8.5 here. And for the hip part, I'm going to add 1.5 inches also for my allowance, 1 inch for ease. The 1.5 inches is for the ease. So I'm just going to mark it like that, which I would, when you are stitching at the end of the day, when you are, because of the stitching and turning, so that is why I added 1 inch, so, and all of the trimming, so at the end of the day you will use your exact measurement. So it's going to come like that. And then the next measurement is the knee measurement. So like I explained, for fish skirt, or some people call it mermaid skirt, but for the fish skirt, the nail part, that's like where the whole fitting of the skirt is. Once the knee is slim, the skirt will be perfect, but if the knee is wide, the skirt will not be fine. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take what I have here now, I'm going to repeat it. I'm going to reduce 2 inches from what, from, okay, the easiest way for us to do it, you take your, you take your hip measurement, you reduce it by 2 inches here, like this. Just reduce 2 inches from inside, and then you add your allowance back into it. So from this part now, I'm just going to do this, and then I'll bring it to this point so you can see the shape of the skirt. So the next thing now, we'll come to the down part of our skirt. So it depends on how wide you want your skirt to be. So because of the my pattern paper, what I have here is 12 inches. So I'm just going to use the whole of my 12 inches for my skirt. So now we're going to blend all of these parts. And then from this part, here's what you are going to do. You're just going to take your ruler like this, your long ruler. So you see the way I'm positioning it, and then I'm just going to roll it. So it is a very simple process. So you can see our skirt. So the next thing we're going to add our dart. So for the dart, you use your bust span measurement, half of your bust span measurement, to take out your dart. So I'm just going to use 4 inches. So like I said, it's 1 inch. So I'm taking out half inch from the side. Okay. So I'm going to cut out now before we continue. So you can see how our skirt is looking beautiful. So I'm going to open it up. So you can see the shape. Okay, so before we insert the style line, what I'm going to do now, I'm going to close up my dart. Okay, so I finished closing up my dart. So the next thing now, we're going to add our style line. That's the style, which is the tulip skirt. So that's what we're going to add. So in adding the style to our skirt, you are going to come to this part of the skirt. So you can actually choose any part of the skirt to do this. So you are going to measure to create out the style line. What you are going to do for this, in order for you to know how to come down, as in that's where you need to measure. The right measurement for you to do depends on how open you actually want your skirt to be. So this actually depends on how open you want it to be. So from the picture that I showed earlier, this the tulip actually came up a lot. The last one I did, the last tulip skirt I did, I think the tulip started from below the hip. That's where the style line was created from. So but for this, you notice that it is from the top, it's a little bit high. So for this, you can decide to use between 3.5 inches to 4.5 inches for this kind of style line. That's between, you either use 3.5, or that's, you should just be between 3.5 to 4.5. So this will actually this will work fine. So if you want it so much up, you can do 3, but 3 inches will be so tiny. So I think we should just do 4.5 inches. Let's just do 4.5 inches. So from this point, I'm just going to come. So this is my 4.5 inches now. So I'm taking 4.5. So from this 4.5 inches, you are going to consider, so for the down part, you can decide to take out half of your skirt. So you know this is my center front. So depends on what you want, depends on how wide you want the down part, that's the front part to be. But for this, I'm not going to be taking the full half part. So I'm going to still reduce it. So on this center part, I'll just put a line. So this is my center front. So from this center front, I'm going to take 1 inch. So what I'm going to do, so from this point, I'm just going to take dotted lines like this. I'm just going to use my free hand, take dotted lines. So you notice I'm not taking it on the direct center line. And then I'm going to take it and bring it to the 1 inch that I measured. So I hope you understand what I'm trying to do, so you can see how the skirt is coming. So this is going to be my curve. So for this, you can actually freehand it however you want to. So that is why I advise for you to do this. Actually do this on a pattern paper and then check it and make sure that what you've done is okay before you continue. So I'm going to blend my lines together now. So I had to open up the dart because it was truncating the whole process. So you create your curve nicely down, and then the next thing that we're going to do, we're going to cut it out now. So you can see what we have now. So this I'm going to use to cut out another one. So I'm going to leave my dart open to cut out the other one. I don't want to cut it on closed. So I'll cut out the second piece of this right now. Okay, so like I said, you cut both of them facing each other. So after cutting, I'm going to open now, and then we'll place them. So when you open, this is what you're going to have. Two funny looking pieces, right? So you're just now going to place them. So you see the tulip it covered up every part. So you can see what we have right now. So like I said, this part depends on how open you want this part to be. The more higher you go, the more open it becomes. If you don't want a tulip that is this open, you can decide to come down more. I'm just going to use my paper tape. I'm going to secure them together. So at the end of the day, so you can see what we have. So like I said, I'm going to show you how to cut the back piece of this now. And the back is going to have a tail. Okay, so when adding a tail to the back of your skirt, there are some things you need to consider. First of all, the length of the skirt. You know, the first skirt, that's the front of our skirt, is actually 40 inches. So this is 40 inches. This is the front length of our skirt. So if you are adding a tail to the back of your skirt, you are going to add extra inches. So it depends on how long you want it to be. So for mine, I added an extra of 10 inches. So the back is going to be 50 inches, while the front is 40 inches. That's the length of the skirt. So if you notice, you can see my skirt. And then another thing to consider again when adding a tail to your skirt, you are going to need an extra fabric on the side of that's on the center back of your skirt. So if you notice my skirt, so you can see my skirt is folded. So this is my actual skirt measurement. So I folded in an extra inches of skirt, that's extra fabric. So this is the line. So this line is my actual skirt. So this extra is what I added to it because I want to create a tail for my skirt. So I added as much as 7 inches. You can add as much as 10 inches. You can add 15 inches. Depends on how flowing you want the tail to be. So I just want you to see, just take a look at it and understand before we continue. So you can see the line, that straight line So that's the extra that I added to the skirt. So now we're going to start drafting the tail on the skirt right now. So to draft the tail on the skirt, so this is our actual skirt. So this is the extra. So everything that we're doing, we're going to be doing on the knee line. So this is our knee line. So what I'm going to, the only thing I'm going to add on this top part is my allowance, my zipper allowance and my stitching allowance. So it is from this tail, from this nail part, that is where I'm going to open up my hand. So I hope you understand. So I'm going to come to this part. I'm going to add 1 inch on this top part. So this 1 inch is for my zipper allowance. And then on my hip line also, I'll add the same 1 inch. And then on this nail line, I'll add 1 inch. So I'm just going to connect it with a straight ruler. So you see, so that's my, so this is my zip allowance. And then from this part, that is where I'm going to add my tail. So like I said, depends on how wide you want your skirt to be. So that is what you put into consideration. So for this 7 inches is even a little bit too small because of my pattern paper. So you can add as much, so you can add as much as 15 inches. Depends on how flowing you want it to be. So the next thing you are going to do, so from this point, once you get to this point of your knee line, you are going to start opening up your hand like this. You are just going to create like a triangle. So it is a very simple process. You create like a triangle on the center back of your skirt. So I'm going to use my ruler to straighten it out nicely, and then we'll blend up. So you can see, once you have more fabric, you can open up like I explained. So on this part, so this part now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to blend this part. I'm just going to blend it in so it is not sharp. That's around the knee area. I'm going to blend it in nicely, and then I'm going to cut it out now for you to see. So you see, adding a tail to a skirt is a very simple process. So after doing this, what you're going to do before you cut out, I'm going to take the front piece, I'm going to lay them together so we'll match the down part together. So you are going to take the front piece like this, you are going to place it. So you can see the front of my skirt, you are going to place it. And then from this part, you are going to blend in. So this is the front part, this is the side of the front. You are going to blend, make sure it blend, it's intercept on that part. So that's just like the whole idea. And then you create your like a V like this. So you can make it curvy, you can make it slanty, depends on what you want. So depends on, so I'm just trying to make, so depends on what you want, but make sure that it intercepts on the side of the front piece. So that is what will give it that fit and balance. Okay, so it is a simple process, it's not a big deal. So you can see what we have. So I'm just going to readjust my camera so you can see it properly. So you can see, just make sure it intercepts here. So now we'll cut out now. Okay, so at the end of the day, so I'm going to open it up now. So you see it is a very simple process, like I usually say. So you see the back of our skirt, it looks so really beautiful and gorgeous, as in gorgeous. So when you stitch, you close along your allowance part, so you can see how, you can see the beauty of the skirt. So you see how beautiful. So like the down depends on how you can make it curvy, you can make it sharp, so it depends on what you actually want. So that is how you add an inbuilt tail to your skirt if you are not doing a gaudet. If it is a gaudet, that means you have to cut out another triangle and then you attach. But this one is an inbuilt. Okay, so thank you so much. So I'm going to bring out the front piece now and then lay them. Thank you so much. If you find this video helpful, so you see the front, so the skirt is beautiful. It is beautiful. So you see, stitch this on the side, and then you have a tail for your back piece. So thank you so much. If you find this video helpful, I would appreciate if you hit on the likes button. Just give it a thumbs up. Thank you so much. If you don't understand anything, you can drop your question on the comment section.